Hey, creatures. So I couldn't sleep the other night and I was just doom scrolling and I came across a reel that was talking about a fungus that actually eats plastic. My mind was just blown. Like, really? Plastic is supposedly non biodegradable. It sits in the earth for 5,000 years, does nothing, it pollutes our water. Do you know you have plastic in your reproductive organs? Yeah, it's kind of gross, huh? Um, so this fungus, this Pestiliopsis, I don't know if I'm saying that right, it actually consumes plastic. It can do it without oxygen, it can do it without sunlight, and it can consume one entire water bottle. I wish I had one around. It would be like, hey, look, oh, here we go. This water bottle, it would sit in the landfill for years to eternity, infinity, and beyond. This mushroom that eats plastic can consume that bottle in 4 to 5 weeks. I didn't have anybody to call up at like 3 a.m. or whatever time it was when I was doom scrolling and found this out and started just randomly researching any place I could, online, of course. I got into talking with Chat GPT. I'm like, why isn't this a thing? Why isn't this global? Why are we not just getting rid of landfills altogether right now? I know there's plenty of drawbacks. I have not researched it completely. And, well, Chat GPT says, well, there's not, okay. He said, it's too soon. It's too early in the researching phases to just unleash something like that. I went, really? What about the COVID virus vaccine in 2020 that they wanted everybody to have, even though it had just been brought out like within a year's time or something? It was relatively new. And they were just mass producing it. Everybody needed to get their vaccine. It was a big thing. And, well, ChatGPT said something about there's not, nobody wants to fund the research. Nobody wants to fund the experiments or whatever with the plastic eating fungus. I said, make me rich. I will fund it. I started researching. I started sending out emails because mushrooms are amazing. There are so many different benefits. There's millions of varieties of mushrooms. There's health benefits. There's drug benefits. Everybody likes a good hallucinogen or a psycho whatever hallucination. I mean, they spent $3.3 billion in, what was it, 2011 researching a drug basically that a mushroom produces that causes hallucinations and psychedelic kind of feelings. So, why is nobody funding this research for cleaning our environment? It's a sustainable solution, basically, I don't know. Anyways, that's my goal. I'm going to get rich. I'm going to fund this project. Anyways, I wrote some emails, and one guy named Ryan got back with me, and I'm meeting with him tomorrow about this. But plastics, not so great, kind of great. They have their uses. I mean, they're in our clothes, so are mushrooms. They're in our drinking containers. Mushrooms can be made into containers that hold fluids too. Anyways, mushrooms made life on land possible. 500 million years ago, a fungi teamed up with algae and formed lichen, which broke down rock into soil, allowing plants to grow on land. Without that fungal partnership, there'd be no forests, no farms, no us. Mushrooms walked the earth before the trees did. Basically true. They inspired humans' consciousness. Maybe. I mean, the theory of the stoned ape is still kind of a hypothesis, but it suggests that early humans may have evolved faster thanks to the psilo, psilocybin containing mushrooms. It sparked creativity, empathy, language, abstract thinking. I mean, it was in the ancient cave art in Algeria and Spain where they depict mushroom headed humans in rituals. Mushrooms are possibly the midwives of human soul. You know, they birth so many different things. I can't even. They're sacred medicines of the shamans and the seers. The Siberian shamans drank Amanita muscaria. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but yes, the red and white Mario mushroom. Da 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 da. Anyway, for spiritual journeys. Okay, mushrooms. They've been around forever. The Aztecs, they called this psilocybin mushrooms Tienosati or flesh of the gods. Okay? And indigenous cultures all around the world still use mushrooms for healing, for prophecy, for connecting to the spirit world. Over in Oregon, well, mushroom hallucinogenics are illegal, and they're good for psychological purposes, health purposes like dieting and weight loss. Like the lion's mane actually helps regrow nerves and support brain health. And the reishi mushrooms, I know I'm not saying that reduces stress and supports sleep and immune function. And then the turkey tail mushroom is even used in the cancer recovery. I mean, particularly in Japan, but you're recovering from cancer, it doesn't matter where you're at. They're using turkey tail mushrooms to help aid in recovery from cancer. How big is that? And then this other mushroom, the cordyceps, it boosts energy and oxygen uptake, which, like I said, helps promote weight loss and probably just an all around good feeling. I mean, mushrooms are kind of like plant medicine, but with an ancient twist. Yeah. The way that mushrooms grow or reproduce by sporing, they it's unreal that we're not using mushrooms to consume plastic. I don't understand why it's not a huge thing. I don't understand why it's not being thought of globally, why we aren't introducing it to our classrooms, to our children. Anyways, they sport, like I'm saying, the way they grow underground, their roots, if you want to call them that, their mycelia, connect like a little network all over. If you go into the forest, the trees' roots all connect. Well, so do these mushrooms' roots. They all connect. They're all interlocking, all basically one being, one organism. I'm going too far with that. But they transfer the nutrients between the trees and they warn the plants of danger. I know you've seen the things on TikTok that plants can sing if you hook it up to this little machine. It's true. Mushrooms do it too. They all vibrate. They all have a frequency. They share information. They share nutrients. They remember and solve mazes. It's just... Paul Stamets, have you ever heard of him? He calls the mycelium Earth's natural neural network. If you actually think about it, Earth is a living organism made up of all these different organisms, mushrooms and fungi being a huge interconnected organism, microorganisms working together the way humans should be working together, the way we kind of are, because I don't care what you think, we are all connected. I'm going a little bit crazy with this, but mushrooms clean the planet. They clean the planet. And I believe we need to do this on a large scale as a community, with whether we get together with arts at different vendors or something. It has to be a thing, okay? We got to speed this up. Come on. We don't want to kill the planet. Not while our babies, our grandbabies, they all still need to have this planet, okay? Yeah, Matt sent me a text. Okay, whatever. But they clean the planet. They digest oil spills. Did you know that they are already using mushroom fungi to clean up oil spills? Plastic, heavy metals, even radiation. Like I said, they're helping with cancer treatments, cancer recovery patients. Radiation. They also make a heck of a mean pulled pork sandwich if you do it right. You can actually shred up mushrooms and put sauce in it, put it on a bun, and oh, it's delicious. It's like pulled pork, but healthier. Plant, I don't know. I'm not going to argue vegetarian and veganism right now. But they clean up toxic waste. They detoxify diesel contaminated soil in just 4 weeks. 4 weeks to detoxify diesel contaminated soil. Now, I'm not sure what the area is or the range of soil, but 4 weeks, that's 1 month. I mean, they're like the janitors of the apocalypse. I'm a janitor of a school. These mushrooms and me, we're connected here. I feel this so strong. They eat our trash and they turn it back into life. They break it down. They break down our plastics and wastes into the soil so that plants can grow. We eat plants. Animals eat plants. Some people eat animals. You know, I mean, and they're reinventing the food industry. Okay, like I said about that pulled pork sandwich made out of mushrooms instead of pork. And fashion, even. Did you know that you can make a leather out of mushrooms? A mycelium leather that is used by companies like Stella and McCartney and Adidas. We all know about Adidas. And if you're a metal fan and you like corn, you know about Adidas. I mean, they're even using mycelia in building projects, housing, and packaging. And like I said with that pulled pork sandwich, a meat like protein. Mushrooms have protein in them. Animal based meat is not the only protein source. Obviously, there's beans and nuts and other protein sources, but mushrooms have a huge protein content, and I just found that out. I want to look into that. But they're developing mushroom based plastics, which is kind of weird because mushrooms can eat plastic and be a plastic base. But I know for one thing, mushrooms are going to help us survive the future. They thrive in the harshest environments. Like I said, this plastic eating mushroom, it can grow in the dark. It can grow without oxygen. It's just amazing. Like, they've even used fungi to clean up environments like Chernobyl. I mean, and mushrooms can even simulate Martian soil, according to NASA. NASA's researching for bioengineering on Mars. They're going to bioengineer mushrooms on Mars. What about Earth? What about our home? Why can't we clean up our home? Why can't we start this project to just have a community of mushroom growers that I don't know how to even explain this. Anyways, but global warming. Global warming won't even matter because the mushrooms can help clean up the environment. This, what do you want to call global warming? It's like an ecological chaos. I think the mushrooms are Earth's survival code, Earth's backup plan, because us humans, we like to destroy almost everything we can get our hands on. There's so much money in war and so much money in hate and violence, and it's kind of sickening. But let's take a minute for peace. Let's enjoy mushrooms. I mean, I'm not promoting psychedelics, but mushrooms are natural. And I feel so passionate about this. It's Earth's ancient survival code. What is it called? Pestiliosis. Anyways, it's a funny name. I can't pronounce it. You want to know something funny? as passionate as I am about these mushrooms consuming plastic and being spread over landfills, and in our communities to help decompose of waste. I mentioned I'm a janitor. Do you know how many bins of trash we take out in one school day? And after school, there's more. Do you know how many times the dumpster gets emptied at our school? It's full. It's full twice a week, sometimes more. Mushrooms can help decompose in these plastics that get thrown away and just make room for more plants, for more people, for more life. And, anyways, I was allergic to mushrooms. I was diagnosed with a mushroom allergy. I must have been misdiagnosed. But maybe it just wasn't time for me to spore yet. Maybe it wasn't time for me to discover this, and maybe now it is. And I would like your thoughts and opinions on mushrooms, and maybe your help on this project. Let's get something started. Let's start this mission. Let's start a movement and get this mushroom research and mushroom experimentation funded. Let's start a fundraiser. Let's do something, because it's our responsibility to clean up the mess that we've made. And these mushrooms, they're going to help us.